My name is Prince Ademola Adetono. I've come to Duchess because of my little prince. We noticed when he was at the age of 2 years plus, when he was playing with his colleagues at school. So we are being called that he was isolating himself from his peers. So then anytime he was at home, he used to tell us that, Dad, I'm tired a little bit. I want to go and rest. So we started noticing him. His hand was bluish. Then his mouth also was bluish. So we now detected that there is something wrong with him.
We have a 5-year-old boy who has been suffering from what we call Tetralogy of Fallot. Some people call it blue baby syndrome. I mean, this child has always been bluish, breathless, and also having issues with going around and growing, has not been growing well. And that is because there's a blockage to blood flow to the lungs. Lung is where we have the oxygen being added to the blood, and then so this child has poor blood oxygen, so they are bluish. The second problem is they have hole in the heart, so we call it Tetralogy of Fallot basically. So our goal today is to go and relieve that. Ideally, this should have been done 6 months to 1 year. But because in this environment, funding and then people being able to look for care at the right time and the availability of the care, many people present a little bit late. So it's a bit complex presentation for this particular patient. So our goal today is to go and relieve that obstruction and again to close the hole in the heart. So ideally, you should have your oxygen saturation to be 100%. We have a patient here which is going to 68%, very low. And so therefore, we know we are dealing with a very complex substrate of this disease. Like we imagine, the patient has a lot of blockage to the pathway from the heart to the lungs, which was why the baby was quite blue. So in this case, it was very tight, or what we call pinhole. That is where the heart connects and drains blood to the lungs. So that explains why the child has been very poor, hardly moving around, breathing with difficulty. So we have to enlarge that hole and open up the pathway to the lungs. Our expectation is, having evacuated the chest, the heart that is beating well now should beat better, and then the child should recover gradually, and they can then start weaning the child off ventilation, off all the drugs, and then hopefully in the next 24 to 48 hours, we see a child that is able to breathe on his own.
The complex surgical procedure was successfully performed over a combined period of approximately 14 to 15 hours, staged over 3 days between the 19th of May and the 21st of May by a combined multidisciplinary team of cardiac surgeons, anesthetists, perfusionists, intensivists, led by Dr. Mudashiru Salami.
By the third day, which is Wednesday, we went back to theater. We reopened we basically cover with a membrane, a special infection preventing membrane. So we reopen it, we see the big clot. We remove it. Everywhere that I was bleeding before, dry. I say, yes, we are good to go.
And I thank the person that referred me here to Duchess International Hospital. He referred us. No, it's another thing to have the money. It's another thing to go to the right place. I thank Alhaji Sulaiman Adegunwa, the Chairman Rights Foods Limited, for referring us here. He referred us to the right place, and we got the right treatment. We got the right medical team. The teamwork was top-notch. The state of equipment was top-notch. The care right from the kitchen to the lawn, to everything. The nurses are wow. The doctors are wow. They kept on giving us encouraging words that will make us to know that there is still life, that we should not lose hope.
The surgery is a miracle because I never expected that the surgery would take so long. But God has his own plans. He now gave his plans and his answers to the prayer to the medical team in Duchess International Hospital. Master D has been doing very, very fine. In fact, the recovery has been amazing, more than expected. You know, this morning he brushed his teeth himself. He held the brush and brushed it himself again without any aid. Yesterday also he did the same thing. He has been eating solid food, doing all the normal things we are also doing. And there is no more panting when breathing, no more bluish in the color of the skin, no more bluish in the nails. His lips are pink. I can see life in him again. Facility here in Duchess is a world-class facility. I'm grateful to God that God can even put it in somebody's mind and thought to establish such thing and not to divert the funds into another thing else. Each minute I remember, I feel very grateful to God. And I feel very, very grateful to the medical team in Duchess International Hospital also, because God has used them to save the life of my son.